Okay, so, all right, so guys, for example 1 down there, we look at that in the first question are both x and y squared. So example 1, the 5x squared, 16x squared, yep, they're both squared. So then we go this way. Are they both positive? They are, so 5 is positive, 16 is positive. Do they both have the same coefficient? The question was, what's the coefficient? That's the number in front. So we have a 5 and a 16, so they do not have the same coefficient, so this one would be an ellipse. Is this flow chart good enough, or do you want to learn the mathematical? Okay. All right. I can always show the mathematical way if you'd like at a later time.
We like the flow chart.
We like the flow chart. Okay, so then flip the page. Now, we will want to determine the type of conic before we graph, so we kind of know what we're working with here. So, again, going through our flow chart, our x squared and y squared, are x and y both squared? Yes. So bypass parabola, so not a parabola. Are they both positive? No. So we already get to stop. Which type of shape is this? Hyperbola. The better it is before going into pure editing is good, right?
Yeah, like the more you have, the better off it'll be.
All right. So we're going to group things for our hyperbola. We're going to do something like completing the square. And this, you guys, this is going to be a good review for going into, I mean, we're at the end of the chapter at this point. So like being able to do all these different types. Now, on certain parts of the test, I'll tell you what type of parabola it is. And there's going to be parts where you're just going to have to determine, like we just did. So, okay. So when there's nothing in front of the x squared, I don't have to worry about factoring anything out. I'll leave a space. But here I'm going to take out a -4. There's a negative in this hyperbola. It makes that one a little bit tougher. I think it's easier when it's actually a number versus just being the y being negative. So that made both of those positive. So we need to do -6 divided by 2 squared, which is going to be 9. Then 2 divided by 2 is 1 squared, is just 1. But I have to multiply it by a -4. And we basically are going to do, there's 4 questions, we're doing kind of one of each kind. Hopefully, unless I mess something up. Should be able to find this. What do I get over there? It's 32. Okay. So once I have that, then we need to divide by 32 because hyperbolas have to equal 1. So, since the x squared is first, that means it's going to be horizontal, right? And this might require you guys stopping me before I do something wrong, so tell me if I, just because again, all this gets mixed up as well for me. So 3 -1, so that's going to be our center. And so, like again, I like setting it up so I have, I'm going to do my focus. So now the focus in this case, or not the focus, the vertex, we need to go out the 32, the square root of 32. So that's going to be approximate. So it's going to be 5 point something in each direction. Yeah. And when I'm on my board, I can just kind of go like big point in between 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just so you guys know, I'm not like, if it's an approximate, like as long as I can tell that you're not trying to like be at like, you know, the next, you know, value over or whatever. Now, if I want to kind of draw that rectangle, I like to do that with hyperbolas. It just makes a little more sense to me. I would go up and down the square root of 8, which is about 2 point something, almost like 2 point, like a high, yeah, almost. And then our focus in this one is beyond this. So again, let me actually draw that little rectangle in. And you don't have to draw this, but I like this in terms of like knowing what my graph looks like. I just like it for like the accuracy. Oops, that needs to go better than that. Now the focus for our C value is, since this is minus, this one's going to be plus. So 32 plus 8. So the square root of 40. So it's like 6 point something. So I'm going to go out, and my focus is out here. And then my hyperbolas. I think that one's the toughest one. I think so, right? All right, so when you're ready, if you want to look at that next one, determine the type of conic first, because that kind of sets up your game plan for everything else. I feel like this is the easiest one to spot. What kind is this one? Parabola, because there's only a y being squared. So that's kind of our clue that it's a parabola. It's only y being squared. I think this is a tougher one. Did anyone get far on it? Like, did it work? I'm always nervous about these. What's it?
Just say it's easy.
Okay, so I'm going to put the y's together on this side, and then I'm going to move both of the other ones to the other side. So I'm going to put the 12x over, so I'm going to add it, and then subtract 153. So this one we do have to complete the square. Everyone okay with how I rewrote that? Move the 12x over, it became positive, the 153 is negative. So I'm going to complete the square with this. So 18 divided by 2 is 9, 9 squared is 81. So that's what's going to get added to the other side. I'm hoping that works out to be a decent number. Okay, good.
It's -7.
Alright, so the reason this is a good number, because you're probably like -72, that's a good number, it is because we want to factor that 12 out, because that's going to help us to find our p-value for our parabola. That's 6. So this is going to be a horizontal because the y is squared, but p in this case is going to equal 3. because it's 4 times 3. And so that means it's going to open to the right. Now our center is going to be 6 comma negative 9. So 6 down. Now with the P being 3, we're going to go out 3. And we're going out this way because of our parabola opening this direction. All right. Do you guys like, those of you guys in trig too, do you like this graphing more than trig graphs? Do you like trig graphs?
No.
I think I make a lot more, I don't know. Yeah, trig graphs take me longer, I think. Especially when the period's a weird amount.
I don't understand the trig right now. Cause like, I don't know what to do with, like, I'm just lost.
When the period's bad?
No, like, the beta or whatever.
Oh, that's just X. Don't
I
let
know,
that scare
like-
you.
I don't know what's beta. Cause then there's like, it's like there's only like over 4, so like diagonals have like
It's essentially 1/4 then is your B value. We'll have to look at that. All right, so this one, the x squared and y squareds are positive. So then we go to the next question. So they're both squared, they're both positive. Do they have the same coefficient? Technically, yes. There isn't a coefficient there, so technically it's the same. So this is going to be a circle. And again, with a circle, we move just the C, like the R value or whatever, to the other side. And we're going to complete the square twice in this case. Now, they can have coefficients in circles. It's just when they have the same one, it means that it's like a perfect ellipse, which is a circle. So, -8 divided by 2 squared. -6 divided by 2 squared. I feel like we haven't done circles in forever.
Circles are so easy.
Yeah. Now it's like,
Because once you get the equation, like there's like no math you have to do.
Yeah.
or something.
no extra points, it's just center, radius. So 4, 3, and then my radius is 8. So I'm going to go every direction 8 if I can. What's that? And then we draw our circle. Oh, it's doing so well in that last lump over there. Alright. Probably can gather what the last one's gonna be, but we still wanna make sure we see the difference between the two. So, in our last one here, our ellipse is gonna be an ellipse because the x squared and y squared, they're both squared, they're positive, but they have different coefficients. And so that's how we know it's gonna be an ellipse, because that's when our foci, because in a circle, they're the same, whereas these are gonna be two separate ones, kind of like that you guys were learning from drawing your little ellipses that day when you moved them closer together. It started to look more like a circle. So I moved that 142 over, so that became negative. Organized some things here. Is that 14x? So in here, we're going to put 49. That has to get multiplied by 3. Oh, I don't really need that parentheses there, but if you want it. So then this is also 4. End up with 9 here. So then we need that to equal 1. Hey, what's up? No.
You're in the middle. Awesome.
Okay. So, x minus 7 squared over 3. Y, that should be a y. Plus 2 squared over 9, and that'll equal 1. So our center, 7, -2. And then I like just using what I know about ellipses to go out each direction. So in the x direction, which is going out. Careful, it's not going to be going out 3. It's going out the square root of 3. So like 1 point something, right? And then the other way, I do get to go 3. This is a little guy.
Doing them like all in like one is like starting to make me feel better about them.
Yeah, good. I know, I kind of feel like,
they're starting to make more sense now. Like I'm starting to understand the equations and like why.
yeah, I think when you see them all laid out, like obviously if I showed this all the first day, you would have lost your mind, but
Yeah.
now that we've kind of, and like, yeah, I almost consider today a little bit like a review day, because tomorrow we'll just start working on your note cards and stuff, but there are some of the other problems where they give you some of the information, but I think if you have the graph, I think you guys are getting good enough at it too that that connection is going better. So